Hey, welcome to my channel. Um, Again, you're probably going to see this a week later or something like that. Unfortunately, because of the fact that the restrictions have been placed, so this is being recorded on September 25th. Playing Monday night, QB, or not Monday night, but Monday quarterback, basically, or QB or whatever you want to call it. I forgot the terminology now. Honestly, it's been a long day. Um, the Cowboys losing to the Cardinals. Uh, it's an interesting thing basically because the way that the Cardinals beat the Cowboys. Let's put it this way: the Cardinals' defense was good enough to hold them off. Enough. It was just they're good. I mean, it looks like they're not great from what it showed with Arizona, but it showed that they're good enough to the point like they're probably like maybe their top three defense out there, maybe top four for sure, and it proves that basically Dallas defensively is good enough, but offensively, if the quarterback can't do anything, then it's a problem, basically. And like in this situation, Dak Prescott is a very good quarterback. Now, mind you, back in 2019, pre-COVID, he was really good, and he deserved his contract extension. But the team will look pretty well. It seems like the team will pretty much live or die with Dak Prescott. Trey Lance might be put into play somewhere along the lines, but it's hard to say. Like, if the Cowboys have a losing record, like if they're, let's say, 2-4 or 3-5, then maybe look for Trey Lance maybe starting one game. But outside of that, I don't see, Dak Prescott losing his position, starting position, but he could be the reason why the Cowboys lose in the first round or in the first game in the playoff, or maybe not even make the playoffs, but most likely losing in the first game of the playoffs. Whether it be the first round or, if they have a bye, depending. But they'll most likely lose, it sounds like, unless they do something, unless the Cowboys do something, basically, with Dak, and Dak dramatically improves. But it shows, if you don't have a decent enough quarterback, you're going to have problems. Because, look at the Jets. Look what they did with New England. Their defense was good enough to hold them in place, quite honestly. The defense was good enough to hold them in place. It's just Zach Wilson was not the quarterback for the Jets. He is not the quarterback for the Jets. Granted, Aaron Rodgers probably would be a different story. They might have beaten the Patriots, honestly. But the thing is the sad part is their defense is good, if not better, than some of the other teams that are out there. I mean, except for 49ers, Eagles, and 49ers, Eagles, and the Cowboys. So they're probably definitely in the top five for sure. Definitely in the top five. But it's quite honestly surprising. The Jets should have made the playoffs for sure if they had Aaron Rodgers or if they had a good quarterback. Zach Wilson's not that quarterback, unfortunately, and I think the Jets are going to have to basically give up on him because this is a guy that is a bust. It's a draft bust. Forget it. You're going to have to go elsewhere and find another quarterback. I mean, honestly, they probably should have just tried to sign. I want to say they should have tried to sign Garoppolo, but it didn't work out. So hopefully you can pick up another decent, good enough quarterback in the draft this year. The next coming draft to basically shadow Rodgers if Rodgers doesn't retire. Similarly, I'm not sure what to say because it's you were seeing that basically. The Giants, as I said, at Arizona game when they came back, I think it's a fluke because you saw basically. I mean, first off, the offensive line sucks. Quite honestly, I hate to say it's not entirely all DJ's fault, Danny Dimes' fault. I mean, the offensive line sucks. If he doesn't have protection, I don't think he has enough time to get rid of the ball in the first place. I mean, if reality is he has to get rid of it in 1 second, that's not happening. Usually it's 3 steps to 4 steps. He can't even get rid of it in the first step because he's got to get rid of it. I mean, he can't get rid of it in the first. I mean, he's got to get rid of it in the first step, or he gets sacked, or loss of yards. So I hate to say it, but Danny Dimes. I mean, honestly, maybe you give Danny Dimes to the Jets and see how he does. Honestly, because maybe it might be better there. I don't know. Do I wish maybe the Giants had Goff? Maybe, probably. Garoppolo showing how decent enough he is to the point where they'll keep him in play basically, especially if it's the offensive weapons. But with that, I don't know what to say honestly. I'll just say this: it was an interesting week, to say the least. Let's take a look. forgot the entire scoreboard actually, because there were some games I missed out on. The Chargers, the Chargers game was pretty fascinating in and of itself. I mean, honestly, I didn't think that was going to happen. The way the Chargers won. I mean, quite honestly, I thought the Chargers should have won it for sure, but the fact that, they came close to losing was a real surprise, quite honestly. Because the Vikings, Kirk Cousins and Jefferson were good enough, and they were right there. So, they're right at practically at the goal line. So, I guess, I want to say they got a little lucky. Same thing with the Packers. I think they got a little lucky as well, too. I mean, honestly, they probably should have lost that game. The Lions are showing how good they are. They might be able to make the playoffs this year. The Browns, that I was a total surprise. I mean, honestly, I thought the Titans would have probably kept it a closer game, but who knows? And I hate to say this, but it shows with the Broncos. I hate to say this, but it shows Russell Wilson is done. You've got to get rid of him. I hate to say it for Sean Payne, but Russell Wilson is not your quarterback. Get rid of him. He's done. Normally, quarterbacks go like this. In this case, with Wilson, he went like that. Like basically, he was going like this. He was up here, and then like that. Most quarterbacks, they go up this, and then they slowly decline. Or sometimes they go into a sharper decline, not like falling off a cliff like Russell Wilson did, basically. The Bills, that was a given that they were going to beat the Commanders, Washington Commanders. Texans, I was a little surprised that they beat the Jaguars like that. I mean, honestly, I thought the Jaguars could have done something and mustered up something, but they didn't. The Colts beating the Ravens, that was a shock. I would never have thought that would have happened. The Seahawks beating the Panthers, I mean, honestly, Pete Carroll is showing how good of a coach he is, and how he works with his quarterbacks. I mean, honestly, this is Geno Smith, and let's put it that way. Geno Smith is not that great, but the fact is, Pete Carroll knows how to get the best out of his quarterbacks, and he's squeezing every ounce that he can out of Geno Smith. The Chiefs was going to win anyways, and that's probably the Swifty game, as everyone want to call it, because the fact is, it's Travis Kelce's girlfriend now, Taylor Smith, was at the game. And, of course, like I said, the Cardinals, the Steelers and Raiders, that was pure enjoyment that was pure old school football that I missed. I really missed that. And that was one of those games where I really missed it. It was almost old school. Granted, both quarterbacks weren't doing that great. Garoppolo was doing decent enough, and he could have brought him in, but it's just one of those things where sometimes their defense, a lot of penalties. Let's put it this way. There were a lot of penalties. This was one of those things where I thought, I love this game, basically. And I was like, this is the game I really miss what they had, though, old school type of games, basically. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts, what you thought of this. Do you think, now granted, as I mentioned, basically, this is going to be 1 week late, unfortunately, because of the restriction I have on my YouTube channel, so... but you're welcome to leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. And I do read my comments, and I do respond to them when they warrant a response, and I also want to get notified. If you like my content, like my channel, like my video, please subscribe. If you do have subscribed, I thank you for that. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, and of course, unrehearsed. Until next time.